All right, the Feelies are coming to the Westhampton Beach Performing Arts Center Saturday night. They will be there. The date is April 26th. Tickets are on sale at whbpac.org or 288-1500. What happened? Dave answered the phone, and he sounded like an angry foreigner. What? You scared you? All right, our guest is the percussionist from the Feelies. We welcome in Dave Weckerman. What happened, Dave? You answered the phone in an angry foreigner voice?
Yeah, I don't have caller ID or anything, so I always answer the phone like in an angry, sort of foreign-sounding voice. So if it's somebody I don't want to talk to, I just go, no, nobody here. Nobody home. And I just, slam the phone because I know they're not going to call back. I guess Bob didn't tell you that.
He failed to mention that. No, but I love it. I love the approach.
Yeah, because I don't have any of that stuff. I actually talking to you on a rotary wall phone.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah. It's like Green Acres up here.
So let's talk about the 1985 record from the Feelies, The Good Earth. Peter Buck of R.E.M. is listed as a producer, but he really didn't produce all that much, did he?
Well, I mean, he was always there and, making suggestions and everything. It's kind of what a producer does. I don't think he had a final say on a lot of things because Bill and Glenn were very particular about what they wanted back then. So,
sort of the mid-'80s, let's stay there, Dave. You guys actually got a chance to go out and play with Lou Reed, who... I don't think there's a person on this planet Lou Reed hasn't influenced in one way, shape, or form. Tell me what it was like playing with Lou.
Well, it was sort of terrifying at first because I used to go to a lot of Lou Reed shows at the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey, and his audiences were just, they were just so feverish for him that the opening bands caught a lot of grief. I mean, I actually saw Hall and Oates booed off the stage. It was like early in their career.
Wow.
So I was like, oh man, we're opening for Lou Reed. We're going to get a lot of grief from the audience. But we actually did, and we went over quite well. And some nights we'd get encores. And there were a couple of times where Lou Reed actually came out when we got an encore, and we do like a Velvet Underground medley. So I thought that was really, it kind of blew his whole rock star entrance for his own set. But he was actually a much friendlier and gregarious sort of person than I imagined. And of course the audiences were older then. They weren't like bottle-throwing, drug-besotted teenagers. They were, more like, grown-up yuppies.
Right. But how does that work? How is Lou on tour? Do you guys hang out backstage a lot? How does that go?
Well, we didn't hang out in his dressing room, but I mean, there'd be the dinner hour and stuff where we'd mingle, and back then it was a no alcohol. It was a totally alcohol-free, drug-free environment because he was like recovering from his years of abuse, I guess. So, we couldn't have beer or anything backstage and had to drink Dr. Pepper and things like that. Oh, and we had our own motorhome, so we could go out there and be naughty, but we couldn't do it around him.
How does the idea come about for you guys to play together and do some of those Velvet Underground medleys? Is that something you bring up? Is that something he brings up?
Well, we actually had, we played out in Long Island at this, I guess it was a benefit for LIR or something. And this was probably about, maybe a year before the tour. Lou Reed didn't have a band at the time, and they wanted him to play at the show. I think the Ramones played, Joan Jett, like these big names of that kind of music. And so Lou Reed actually called Bill up and knew that we were kind of like a Velvet Underground inspired band, and we backed him up at that show. So that's where the connection came from. And
wow, that's cool.
So then when he did the New York tour, he actually asked us to do, and it was literally from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon, and all points in between. It was, well over a month-long tour.
That's cool to hear. It's a good story, Dave. The story of the band is pretty remarkable, and I'm glad you had some time to share it with us this morning. That's great.